this off by saying a lot of things have changed since I was born. I was born in 1984. So, for example, the prices of many things have changed. Let me ask you, can you guess how much a number one menu on a McDonald's costed? Everyone knows what a number one menu item is, right? It includes a Big Mac, French fries, and a drink. These days, it's about, what, $7.99, I think? In 1984, it was probably like $1.99, right? And things are constantly changing. For example, does anyone, raise your hand if you know what a VHS tape is? Nobody. Wow, VHS. Remember, you had to rewind and fast forward? I don't think any of you remember. And, there were DVDs and Blu-rays, but now it's quickly becoming irrelevant. We are slowly moving towards digital only. And even games, a long time ago when I was playing games, like they used to be like just tiny little sprites, but these days they look like real-life movie characters. But at the same time, many things have not changed. For example, we still have the changing of the seasons. We still have natural disasters like hurricanes and earthquakes. A Costco hot dog is still $1.50. And Costco said they're never going to change the price. They want to keep it that way. Good to know. The Simpsons is still airing. I think that show is like 30 years old now. So what hasn't changed at that time, but what will change is the decisions that you make today. So everyone, what you do today will shape your tomorrow. So this part of the chapter covers Isaac and Rebekah, and they had been married for 20 years. And they couldn't have any children. So Isaac prayed to God. And let me ask all of you, what do you do whenever you are in trouble, sad, or disappointed? What do you do? Who do you go to first, or what do you go to first? Brianna, what do you do when you are sad or disappointed? Who or what do you go to first?
Probably my friends.
Your friends. You don't go to God first?
I should.
You should. So that is the answer I want to hear. So whenever we are in doubt, whenever we are sad, in trouble, we should be going to God first, because that is the main source who can help us first. So yes, you can go to your family members. They will help you most definitely, but going to God first will definitely help you more. So don't go to your friends first. Don't go to the internet first. Instead, go to God first. So Isaac went to God first, and because of that, think about how he got rewarded. He got rewarded with 2 twin boys. So we had Esau and Esau and Jacob. So Esau, that's how you pronounce it in English. So Esau was a skillful hunter, so he liked to go out and hunt after animals. And Jacob was the opposite. Jacob was kind of a homebody. He preferred to stay at home. Now, this brings me to the next part of the story. Everyone, raise your hands if you have ever traded something in your life. So traded someone with one of your natural possessions. So Antonio, what did you trade? Did you trade a toy? So do you think it was a good trade? Were you happy? Very good, yes. So let me tell you a story about a really bad trade I made in my life. So I was like in middle school, and of course I loved video games. So there was like a game that was like $30 at the time, and my friend wanted to trade me my game for an action figure, just like a, like 6-inch action figure. And at the time, I thought it was a great deal. I was like, yeah, sure, okay. And I traded the action figure, and shortly after, I immediately regretted my decision, and it only got worse. You know what happened? That $30 game in like 3 years, it became very, very rare. And like on eBay, it was selling for $300. So I could have turned $30 into $300. And of course, I regretted my decision. And I thought to myself, why did I not take the time to think this through? Because your actions will have consequences. It will affect your future. So you should always, when you're in doubt or something, or even when you get too excited, always take a moment to take a step back and evaluate your situation. So in this part of the story, we saw Esau, and he was very hungry one day. He was hungry. Actually, he wasn't all that hungry according to the Bible. But my point is, he was kind of hungry, and Jacob was cooking stew. And he told Jacob, hey, if you give me that stew, what can I do for you? And Jacob said, why don't you give me your birthright? Why don't you trade me your birthright? And now what a birthright is when your father and your mother die, you claim ownership of pretty much all their property, all their money, all their belongings. And because Esau was the firstborn son, he got double the amount of birthright than Jacob did. And Esau, he did not think this through. He thought his birthright was kind of a joke. Like he was like, what's the big deal? And Jacob was a smart boy. He was a smart man. He was just like, hey, give me all your birthright for this bowl of stew. And how foolish of Esau to trade him that bowl of stew for his birthright. He was just like, sure, just take my birthright. I don't care about it. And yeah, he was full after that day, but I'm sure he regretted it later in his life. So Jacob was very much the smarter man in that situation. And once again, everyone, whenever you are in doubt, before you do action, always think about the circumstances that it will have for your future. Amen?